Welcome, everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order. Go ahead and keep meeting, but we want to leave plenty of time for Representative Brooks and Ed Tracy today. So, and Merry Christmas. This is fun. December, here we are. So, yes. Let's see, a couple announcements. Let's see. Oh, yes. If you were a delegate that we elected last time, you should have received an email, but we'll be in touch. That's Monday night that you'll be voting for UFRW. And then, let's see. Oh, if you didn't hear, there's some thank you cards at the back for our representatives if you'd like to sign those. And then coming up, again, we'll announce the caucus boot camp. That's January 6th for juniors and seniors in high school. So keep spreading the word on that. Randa's been on the committee and she knows a lot if you have any questions. And then, let's see. Oh, Lincoln Day as well. Woohoo! Judy's been working hard on that. It's Buck Sexton is going to be our speaker. If you know him, he's took over for the Rush Limbaugh show, and he's very good speaker. He's CIA, a lot of things that he. So we will have our WCRW tables, which are always, you want to be at those tables, right? So in January, or if you want to do it today, you can get your tickets. I believe they're $75, and you'll get to meet Buck with that. It's a special perk for being Republican women. So yeah, so plan on that if you want to get your tickets at our next luncheon, and we'll reserve a seat for you there. So that is February 10th, thank you, is the Lincoln Day dinner. So, okay, I think, did I miss any other announcements that anyone has? I think we're good. Okay. And then, so we're going to go ahead and move forward with the program. We'll have our prayer by our chaplain, Sharon, and also she will conduct our pledge. And then we'll turn the time over to Marion for our membership report. And following her, we will have one of our previous presidents, Lorraine Cox. She's going to install our new executive board. And then after that, we will turn the time over to Alexis to introduce our program. But of course, I failed to recognize our guests, so I apologize. Thank you for being here, Senator Ibsen and Representative Brooks. And we had Mayor Billings here, I saw, and any other elected officials in this. And we also want to recognize the Riddles again from Honor Flight. Thank you for joining us again today. So, all right, we'll move to Sharon.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful to Thee to be together again, and for the Abbey Inn and for Carrie and her staff who provide this meal. And we're grateful to Thee for our membership and guests who are here today. We're thankful to Thee to welcome for the first time Ed Tracy, who will entertain us. And for our guest speaker, Representative Walt Brooks, whom we enjoy having with us once again, and what he will share with us today. We're grateful to Thee for the election of Congressional Representative Celeste Malloy, and for the beautiful sight of our American flag in Snow Canyon last month. We're grateful to Thee for the women and children hostages released by Hamas thus far. And Father, we are grateful to Thee for giving us Thy only begotten Son. Father, we ask Thy blessing for our catering staff who are especially busy this time of year. May each event be enjoyable and successful for them. We ask Thy blessing for our guests, Ed and Walt. May Ed and his audience have an enjoyable time at his show tomorrow evening, and may Walt enjoy and continue his good work for our area. We ask Thy blessing for Representative Celeste Malloy. May she be successful in her efforts on our behalf in our nation's capital. We ask Thy blessing for those who remain hostages of Hamas, Americans and non-Americans. May they all be released and returned home one day. And for our military members who are in the region, may they return safely home. We ask Thy blessing for the people of this great country Thou gave us. May the divisions between us diminish, and may we all, united, become the shining city upon the hill once again. Lastly, Father, we ask thy blessing for our loved ones, friends, neighbors, and Americans throughout our country as we celebrate thy gift to us, the birth of thy Son. Father, we humbly ask these blessings in the name of thy beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to tell you all about our membership. We're pleased to announce that we have 2 new members since we last met and 1 new associate member. Currently, we have 87 members and 18 associate members. Of our 105 members and associates, we have 61 GEM members, and GEM members are those who give over and above the $35 it takes to be a member. So at $50, you're a silver member. At $100, you're gold, and diamond members donate $500. Give $500 for membership. I'm going to call out the name of the different people and who are GEM members, and just raise your hand, and I'm going to have Jennifer go down and give you your little tag that goes on your member badge. So the diamonds are Jennifer Nelson and Cleo Atkin. She's here, Cleo. And we have a few gold members, Linda Andershat. Do we have Linda here today? Nanette Billings. Our president, Haley Kaplan, and her husband, Justin. And then we have the Star Richings. Star.
Are these, which one of these? Are these gold?
These are still gold, yep. And then Chad Bayan, is Chad here today? Then we have a couple of silver members.
Okay, I'm getting it. Okay.
So Jan Kaplan is a silver member. Yeah. Kristen Crow. And Pat Perrine.
That's a little better.
Well, we love to say our theme is each one bring one. If you come to the next meeting, bring a friend, that'd be great. We could double our membership that way. So that's a good idea. And if you haven't renewed, please renew with us again for next year. Also, we have the couple that came last month for honor flights. They're Air Force veterans. They've been on honor flights, and they're here with us as well today. Carol and Don Riddle. Now you're going to notice we have envelopes on each table. It says Honor Flight. Drop some money in there. We want to give a nice donation to Honor Flight. Okay, thank you so much.
It's an honor for me to be able to install your new leadership today, and I'd like each of you to come and stand up here if you would. There's Haley Kaplan, Alexis Enns, Joanne Britton, Jennifer Nelson, Sandy Atkin, Janine Burton, and Debbie Albright. This is really exciting. Ladies, today you've been elected to a position of trust and responsibility. I know you appreciate the honor that has been conferred upon you and that you will lead our club to great achievements. In accepting these posts, you are assuming a leadership role among Republicans, and therefore setting an example, one which requires the best energy, integrity, and devotion of which you are capable. President Haley, you've been chosen to serve because of your outstanding leadership ability. There's no higher compliment that can be paid to you by Washington County Republican women. You represent the club at all times, including at Utah and National Federation events. You set the tone and create a sense of belonging to each member. Vice Presidents, there are 3 of you, Alexis, Joanne, and Jennifer. Each of you have an important role, including organizing programs, tracking, building, and retaining membership. You assist the president's needs and will preside at club meetings in the absence of the president. Secretary Janine, it's your duty to keep the minutes and records of the club activities, including board meetings. You are the team member that assists the presidents with all club communications. Treasurer Sandy handles all financial affairs and assists the president with her budget. Member at large Debbie, you've been nominated, elected by, and represents the entire membership. Your job is to serve as a liaison between the membership and the executive committee. Ladies, by your election, the club has expressed confidence in your abilities and has placed in your hands the administration of Washington County Republican Women for the next 2 years. In accepting this post, you promise to exert every effort to conduct Republican women activities that will attract all women in your community who believe in Republican principles and the programs of the Republican Party, the National Federation of Republican Women, and the Washington County Republican Women. To that end, I ask you to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
to live up to the provisions
to live up to the provisions
of the governing laws of the National Federation of Republican Women
of the governing laws of the National Federation of Republican Women
and the Washington County Republican Women,
and the Washington County Republican Women,
and to discharge all duties
and to discharge all duties
incumbent to my office
incumbent to my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you. So, ladies, by the authority vested in me, by the membership of the National Federation of Republican Women, I declare you installed as officers of the Washington County Republican Women. I wish you great success in all your endeavors this year and undertaken during your term as officers. Please know that the National and the Utah Federations are here whenever you need help in any way possible. And I congratulate all of you. Thank you for serving.
Okay, it's my turn, and this is actually my first time at this, and I actually only found out a couple days ago I was doing this, so I was sort of hoping Shirla was gonna at least be here, so miss her and hope that she'll be rejoining us again soon. So I am here to introduce Representative Walt Brooks, and I had a lot of fun on the phone with his wife yesterday, just learning all of the fun, wonderful things there are to know about Walt. So I thought I'd share just a few. I mean, she had like a really long list, and I think I'd be here for a little while. So one of the things that I thought was so fascinating is that she said that Walt loves to learn, and so he has like all of these licenses for many, many different things. He has a pilot's license, a scuba license, he likes to learn things. So I was like, I don't think I would have ever known that. He's quite an adventurer. One thing I did know was that he received a flamethrower for Christmas. Was it for Christmas? Oh, birthday present, okay. And the fire department got a few calls, and so they started having cookies ready for when the fire department would show up. So I thought that was kind of fun. Hopefully we get some fire stories maybe today. I don't know. We'll see. Also, she mentioned that Walt is not a huge fan of feral cats, and so he has a cat trap. And he does a great public service by trapping them and then releasing them over on the Arizona Strip. Okay, the last one I will end with, I think is kind of fun, is that he's written a book. It's called Walter's Pet Bee, and apparently it's another fun story from his childhood, and apparently that's a big thing in his family. Everyone has Walt stories from when he was a child. He's a very curious child. So if you are interested, it is a top-rated book on Amazon. So look it up and order yourself one. And I'll leave the time to Representative Brooks.
Well, I'm happy to be here, but I didn't know she was going to tell you those things. It's just my wife told me to write some stories down, so I wrote this one. And I did get this notification from Amazon that I'm a top seller. And I looked at the list, and I'm the like 287,000th from the top. Wow, this is quite a list they got there. So I want to be too impressed with that. But I was a curious little kid. But we lived in Blanding. This is not part of. We're talking about fire stories, and I can tell a lot of fire stories. But when I was 5. We live in Blanding, and it snows in Blanding. It's over by Four Corners area. And I told my mom, it would be great if we had a fireplace in our house. And my mom was the sweetest lady ever. She, oh, that'd be so great. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So I went and built a fire pit in our basement and used a broomstick, put a little thing off the broom from the pilot light to the dryer, and started a fire. And we got an electric dryer the next day. So I didn't know that. Not long after that, I was in our garage. It was a separate garage. My dad was the principal in Blanding, and I would start a fire in there because it's cold. It's snowy outside. I'm 5 years old, and I poured a little gas on there, and it was way awesome. But it'd go out real quick, so I tried to figure out how to keep it going. So I just stood over and poured it constantly, and the flame came up to the gas tank. I dropped it because it scared me, and it blew up, and I fell out. And I ran and hid underneath the propane tank next to the garage, and burned the whole garage down. And my dad looks out the window from his high school. He's like, "Oh, Walt's home." Sure, the next year we moved to St. George. The thing I remember about that the most is I didn't get a spanking. my guy was like, "Are you okay?" Because my little, coat melted, but it didn't hurt me. I didn't get any. It did not even. When we moved to St. George in the house that I live in now, which my great-great-grandpa built up on 300 North, there's a lot of dry weeds around here. You notice that? And I made a fire inside the shed and it burned it down. And I did get a spanking that time. And my dad, it was the first of many times he asked me why I listened through my rear end instead of my ears. I'd be a little amiss if I didn't talk a little bit about the legislature. So I'm just going to briefly kind of give you a quick snapshot of what's happening right now. We got a new speaker. As you know, Brad Wilson was our previous speaker, and he's running for the Senate. And so when you resign, you're done. And if anybody puts in the candidacy for that position, they're out of their own position. There's kind of like this chain effect. So our old majority leader, Mike Schultz, ran for speaker. She is new, and Representative Moss is our majority leader. Carrie Ann Lisenby is the whip, and Casey Snyder is the assistant whip. And one thing I really like about this group, and we've been seeing kind of a change over the last few years, is instead of leadership telling us, the legislature, what we're going to do, leadership has been meeting with us to see what we as legislators want to accomplish. Because typically, every legislator can open up their own bill files and go do it, but it's these little one-piece meals. And to get something really substantive done, it takes a lot of effort. So over the summer, we've been meeting as chairs to identify what has our committee's been identifying. And we've listed a whole things of important items. And you're going to hear a lot more about this, but the number one thing on the top list is identifying the importance of families and supporting families. Another two is schools get back to the basics. In fact, one of the bills that I was involved with, and I believe Representative Stanquist is running it, you've heard about the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, right? We should be teaching kindergarten, third graders. Well, we're doing that in Utah till fifth grade. Because there is no human biology test, there's no anatomy, there's none of that discussion from in any curriculum all the way to fifth grade. And we've had kind of some of these rules already that we put in place, but a lot of districts are a little more liberal up north, and the teachers that are doing it, they do it anyway. So this bill puts in some teeth that they can lose their license. So we want to make sure that we're supporting families and reducing taxes, and you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff, and I'm really happy the way that leadership's moving. All right, so Alexis asked me just to talk about some Christmas traditions and stories and growing up here in Dixie and stuff, and I'm like, I hope they like this because I can just ramble on this kind of stuff forever. But I grew up here. Like I said, I live in the house that I grew up in, that my dad grew up in, that my grandpa, his grandpa built, and I love it. It's downtown. It's an old adobe home, and they're fun. Some days I want to burn it down too, because but it's kind of fun and quaint. And, we did all the little fun traditions as families do. We make gingerbread houses, and we go look at the Christmas lights. And because Christmas time, it finally cools down to 60 degrees, so you can have hot chocolate. So we'd have hot chocolate and tell stories and that kind of thing. And there was one tradition we did in Christmas time, which I really didn't like at all. How many of you are familiar with pecan trees? Pecan, or if you're not familiar, pecan. Okay. So pecan trees, they're those black, ugly-looking trees that you can't climb them. You can't. For a kid, they're miserable. You can't build a tree house in it. They get you filthy, and they snap. They're very brittle. They seep sugar. So if you see those in the winter, you can actually see it raining sugar. So you can't park underneath in the shade. You're going to be covered with all the sticky stuff on top. They're miserable. They're like planted by the devil, because there's no value to a kid in this tree except these pecans. And guess when they have to harvest them? December, right for Christmas. So when I was a kid, one of our jobs on Saturday morning, like 1st of December, was to pull out these huge tarps. And so we have these tarps they used to use in the West Desert for airplanes to shoot at. So they have this big black dot, and there's little holes through them. But we bring this canvas tarp, and we have 3 of them, and they're like 50 by 50. They're really big, and we lay them out, and we harvest these nuts to give to our neighbors and stuff. And as a 14-year-old, which if you didn't know is the peak of all knowledge. Okay? So I remember sitting on my back porch and watching us start harvesting nuts, and the method was take a big long pole, like 25 feet, and you hit the branch and a few nuts fall down. And I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. You hit it with a stick. This is the technology that we've come up with. And I told my dad my disdain for this, like the caveman who invented this. Have you really done anything else? And he just said, quick, get over here and pick up some nuts, And I'm just, there's a better way. There's got to be a better way. So I'm just looking at this tree and I'm like, I'm going to climb up there and I'm going to shake the tree where the nuts are at. I'm going to go up, right? Easy. And so I start climbing up and I hear this little voice in the back of my head, like, you're going to get hurt. And I'm like, so I keep climbing, I hear it again. I realize that voice was my dad. Like, he's like, you're going to get hurt. Now, if you don't know my dad, he's a very kind, loving math teacher, which means there is white and there is black. There is no in between. And he'll let you do all the dumb things pretty much in your life that you're going to get. So, and I'm like, Dad, you don't understand. I'm going to solve this problem, blah, blah, blah. And he's looking at me, he's like, you're going to get hurt. And he goes back to us hitting this stick on these things and 5 nuts fall down. So I climb to the very top and it's about 30, 35 feet up there. So it's like a 2-story house, like if you're standing on the roof of the house. And I climbed down and I started shaking the branches. Oh, and the pecans rained down, which just made me feel all that much smarter. And I'm like, see? And I jumped to the next one and shake, and then I jump over here, shake. And dude, it was the coolest thing. There, you could hear it bouncing and raining and stuff. And so I wasn't paying attention. I started shaking, and the branch I was on broke. And I fell down and hit every branch on the way down. I landed on my back, knocked the wind out of me, and my dad comes over and says, would you quit messing around and pick up some nuts? And so I ran aside because I knew my mom at least liked me. That's kind of the way I grew up about Christmas traditions. We had all these fun little things, and then as we got married, this is the fun time. I'm hoping that what happens is I tell these that you'll remember your traditions and all the fun things and bring back to those memories. Because my wife would always say, a memory's no good unless you reflect upon it. So every year she makes this book from Shutterfly of all the vacations or whatever we did all year round. So the kids look through it and they love it. They remember those great things that we did. But we were talking about some traditions and we're newly married. And so we're talking about how in our Christmas stocking, we got an orange and some peanuts and nuts and stuff, and then a couple of treats and things. And she goes, yeah, but why do you use an orange? You're supposed to put a tangerine in there. And I'm like, what? You're a crazy lady. I don't know what you're talking about. And my wife and I, she's the sweetest person. We don't argue. But we'll have disagreements like this. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, I'm going to call my mom right now. So she called her mom, and her mom goes, yeah, that's what we grew up. We had tangerines in this thing. I'm like, you're like weird Idaho people or something. I don't know what you do up there, but it's oranges. You don't see tangerines. Chris, it's oranges. And she goes, well, that's what my mom always did. This is not her mom. So her grandma had retired down to St. George and lived about a block from us. We lived over by the temple, and she had a little townhouse. And so we went over and saw our grandma. And I said, Grandma, can you tell us why there's a tangerine instead of an orange? And she turned bright red and started laughing because I'm so embarrassed. Because when the kids were little, so this is Jen's mom, when she was little, she made the Christmas stockings. And they were too small to fit an orange in it. So they went and got a tangerine and put it in. And from then, it's always been tangerine. But until I corrected the mistake, just so if you're wondering. We got back to oranges. But my kids, they joke, because my wife, she's like me. If you do something, you might as well enjoy it, right? So I'll give you an example. We have to go to the blood drive, right? They come every year. And that stinks. It's not fun to get jabbed, right? So my brother-in-law, Gracie's dad, we made a trophy called the Man Award. And it's whoever bleeds the fastest at the blood drive. And we take it with us, and we record our times. And I actually hold the record of barely 3 minutes and 13 seconds bleeding. And we would train. You can't drink caffeine. You have to have tons and tons of water. And so, it's even more uncomfortable. Have to go to the bathroom while you're right? So we made that kind of a fun activity, and my wife does the same thing, and she has boxes for every holiday, and the kids go up and get the box and bring it down. And for like Halloween, there's like this box, and for Thanksgiving, there's a couple boxes. And one other holiday, what is that called? St. Patrick's Day, there's a little box. But when it comes to Christmas time, there's like 60 crates that we have to take down. And it's the whole Christmas village, the whole thing. We have to have trees in every room. And I like Christmas too, so it's kind of fun. And the Christmas village thing, it really paid off because I found out it's like giving 2 gifts at once. So I go down to Ace Hardware, they sell these little VMAX, that's the brand I have to get, right? She's trained me. And, but they go on sale, like right now they're 20%, and then the next week they'll be 30%. If you wait long enough, it's like a gamble, you know? So like you get to clear down to 70%, and then you wrap it up, and she gets this Christmas present, her vision. And then next year she brings it out. She's twice excited because now she gets to use it. So it's like 2 in 1. So it's a pretty good deal. We have this. In fact, I'll show you. I did this picture.
See, now I want to figure out how to do that.
You know, I'm gonna guess what it makes it a little bigger. Hey, Ray, come on up. I can't even see my mouse. Let's do this.
Next year, I'm putting it on the table. Turn it sideways.
See.
No, that's on.
Here, you change that. So anyway, this was last year's, and the reason I took this picture wasn't because of the village, it was because there was 2 football games at the same time that I wanted to watch. So I went and got another TV from another room and put it on the bottom so I could watch the 2 games that were being played. But my job is to build the structure, and we're running out of room because every year she gets a couple new houses, so they're perfect. So I got to figure out where we're going to go from this. And this last year she got a ski lift that shows the little guys going up there, because if you see there's the lights up in the right-hand corner, that's the ski slope, and they all have meaning from behind them, and she enjoys it, and it's kind of fun because I'm not allowed to do it. I'm not allowed to decorate. This is like the best gift you could give to a husband. So I really enjoy it. But we have all the traditions, like we have Mr. Pete's, you know, the shelf on the elf on the shelf guy. And when the kids were really little, something I put him in the tree and I put a fishing line on him. And so we have a tree in the living room right when you walk in. And then we have the parlor where the fancy tree goes, or as we call it, because we're not that fancy, the other side. So over this side, we have that Christmas tree. And if you go all the way through our house to our kitchen, you can see this living room tree. And we were eating dinner and I had a call. So I went and took my call on the other side. And I picked up that string and I started tugging it. So the tree was moving. And the kids are freaking out because the elf is moving. And I yanked it and it flew out. It just ratcheted right over into this other room. And I hurried and cut the string and I went further away on my phone. And the kids come screaming over there. So I kind of, I'm on the phone. But I'm on the phone and Mr. Peace, Mr. And it goes all today. So we try to make those type of memories that they can have the little magic in Christmas, because it's really easy to make magic in Christmas when you have little kids. And we put the reindeer food out on the front lawn. And one year when my wife and I were shopping, we found this band of leather strip with some jingle bells on it, like real legit. Like it looks like it should be on Santa Claus sleigh. So I bought it and I threw it up on the roof. And Christmas morning when we came out and the kids were riding their bikes and doing little things, and my 8-year-old, you know how it is, they think they sit, but you're kind of like steering them so they can see up there on the roof. And he said, "What's that?" So we got the ladder and he climbed up and we pulled down. He just could not believe this is the evidence we needed all along to make sure Santa Claus is real. And we kept it all year. It was like on our mantle. It was like the centerpiece all year. And by the time next Christmas came around, we convinced him that maybe we should give it back. And so he wrote this big note, put it with the cookies. And when Santa came, he left an extra present and a note that says he gets to keep it. And oh my heavens, it's better than any gift I've ever given. It was pretty fun to be able to have that. And one thing we still do to this day, when I was little, we went to Grandpa's house with all our cousins and we reenacted the story. You know, and someone read from the Bible, and so I was a sheep. And someone was a shepherd and the whole thing. And now we do it with my own family, my brothers and sisters, but we hold it at the gym at the church because there's 85 of us. I have 8 brothers and sisters. So there's a ton of us, and the kids do the same thing, and our way home, it's amazing. Every time they find Rudolph, they see Santa flying to the sky, and his little nose bleeping in the sky on his way to McCarran Airport or wherever he's going. So it's all that fun aspect of what we get to do, but but you know, it's my wife decided when they're little that we were going to combine after Christmas, because you know Christmas is this big buildup, and then it's over, and it's such a letdown. And she's like, well, how can we make this better? So she asked us to write down our favorite memory of Christmas, and then resolutions. And she'd put it in an envelope and stick it away in this little Christmas mailbox we have. And after 5 years, she went back to the first year and brought it out, and we would reread them again. And I looked at a lot of my resolutions, and I'm going the wrong direction on the weight loss thing. But, so it's kind of sad to have to reflect on those every 5 years. But it was amazing, more times than not, their favorite memory wasn't the gift, it was what they gave and seeing the reaction of what someone had. And it was kind of neat to see that, because that's really what puts the merry into Christmas, is the giving, the kindness, that kind of aspect of it. But coming to their Christmas season and our great art pieces that we have here, has anybody done this with their own kids? What happens when you have to tell them to throw it away? They want to keep these remarkable pieces forever. And I'm like, this is not fun. So we got to figure out a way that we can get rid of them, and they want to get rid of them. And my wife's, how are you going to help them want to get rid of them? So we created a new tradition at our house, and it was how to destroy them, okay? But first, the reason I got this idea was we have to have at least one real Christmas tree so it smells like Christmas in the house. That's one of my wife's unbreakable rules. And so at the end of the season, you have this tinder box sitting in your living room that when you go to move it, it leaves pine needles everywhere. So have you ever got rid of a Christmas tree? They sit on the yard forever, and no one ever picks them up, and you have to figure out a way to get them in the dump. So I decided, people light fireworks off on New Year's. Why don't we burn it? Okay? So this, I don't know if you can count down.
My favorite pyromaniac thing.
There's my flamethrower, bright pump match. And it takes less than 2 minutes for a tree to run completely to the ground. So that's why you don't have them in your house this long, because this is what happens inside your house. So we do this every year, and one year I got a little excited because I went to my neighbors and took their trees too and made a huge pile in my yard. And the fire department did come and let me know that wasn't appropriate. Anyway, so this is my daughter, and we've done lots of different things. We would like run them over with my truck or drop them off the house. And my son got so excited when he was building it, he laced it with firecrackers. So I'm like, hey, that's one of the 7 habits, right? Think of the end in mind. So he was thinking of the end when he got to destroy it. But this is my daughter, and she's using a sledgehammer to get rid of it. The one on the left is my daughter. She built apparently a house from Fredonia. It's a single white trailer looked like. But oops, let me go back. Okay, this is my son. For some reason, he has a battle spear, and I didn't know about this, but he found good use for it. Apparently, it's the way he takes care of his house. But being a dad, I have a responsibility and an obligation to make sure that it's destroyed properly, and I can show them how it's supposed to be done for complete utter destruction. So this was the house that I built, and I used my flamethrower. So, doesn't this look cool? Now you see why I like fire. And I didn't realize this, but sugar is very flammable. It burned that for 20 minutes and just like melted. I'm like, those 3 little piggies in there were not happy, but I'll tell you. So it just burned burned and burned. And you wonder why my house hasn't burned down, and I know how you so, anyway, one of our favorite traditions, I like to have fun, I like to be upbeat. So I don't get too like sentimental on some stuff where I get teary-eyed. But these books that my wife gets, so the tradition with the books is when Santa Claus comes, he goes to Christmas tree number 4 upstairs and outside the little kids' room, and he leaves a new Christmas book and some hot chocolate. And so Christmas morning, we eat breakfast together, and then we go in together and open our presents, and I read the Christmas book. And there's a ton of them, like Christmas for $1 or Sam's Wish, and all these wonderful stories that are like, man, tug at your heartstrings. They're really, really amazing stories. And one of my favorites you probably heard before. So Rayleigh, if you can help out. Did you forget? You passed out the wedges, please.
We did.
Oh, you did? I'm not paying attention either. Okay. Thank you so much, Rayleigh. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a summary story, and that's what's in here. But the book is way better. Okay. It really is good. And it's about a young orphan who grew up in this orphanage that had a caretaker. I see a lot of nodding heads, so you know this story, so I'll go through quick. And Mrs. Hartley is the loving, caring caregiver at the orphanage. But she gets sick, like a lot of the orphans did, and got fluid, and she passed away. And the city couldn't handle it, so they farmed out all these orphans. And little Rose got sent to a place called Iron Gate, which is in another town by Mr. Crampton. Doesn't that just sound like a sweetheart? Anyway, Mr. Crampton wasn't in for the fun and games. He wasn't quite like my dad. My dad was a tad nicer. And he did not like anything to do with Christmas because it got the kids all riled up and out of control. But because of the city, they bring oranges and be part of it, a Christmas tree, he let him have the Christmas tree up Christmas Eve, have their orange that was on the decoration of the Christmas tree, and then it was down Christmas morning. And little Rose had never had an orange before. And I thought about that. First, when she was in her old place, in a nice place, Christmas means that she got a spoonful of sugar. That was her Christmas. And we kind of talked to our kids about how lucky we are to be in this country and all the things we get to enjoy, and why we should really take our opportunity to share love and kindness to other people. And she goes out and she's got to see this Christmas tree with the oranges. She sees it, but she's broke on the rule. She was out after bedtime. And so the guy who saw her, Mr. Crampton, was going to give her the punishment, but he thought it'd be better if he waited till everybody could see it. So that morning, when they all lined up to go to breakfast, have their Christmas orange with their breakfast, he called Rose out and said, "You were out of bed last night, and they had 3 big punishments. You had to stay in your room all day, you had extra chores, and you had to miss a meal." So she missed, I'm going to do this. She missed breakfast, the Christmas orange. And everybody went down. Oh, gosh. See, I tell you, everybody was sad because they knew how much Rose would love this treat. And someone got a great idea, and all of a sudden you see segments of this orange disappear underneath and get passed around until it made a kind of lumpy orange out of these segments. And they all saved a piece. And at the end of the day, they went back and had an orange with Rose. And I'm like, isn't this really the true meaning of Christmas? Everyone sacrificed just a little bit, but made that an amazing day. And this kind of goes back to my sweet wife that makes me cry, by the way. I didn't do this without her. But, how do we take some of the blessings that we have and exhibit a little bit of kindness to make something nice for someone else? We can put the Mary in Christmas by our thoughts for someone else. And I appreciate letting me be here today. Thank you.
Right. I hope all of you enjoyed that as much as I did. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Representative Brooks. All right, it's my turn to tell you a little bit about Ed. I got some information, and I would like to start with the fact that he hates bananas. He hates bananas. I don't think I've ever met anybody who hates bananas, but that stood out to me a little bit. I'm like, okay, no banana bread for you. I got some information about a silly way that he may have injured himself at a giant ribbon cutting. He grabbed some scissors by the wrong end and cut himself with the scissors and found out that those ribbon cutting scissors are very, very sharp. So, gonna need some safety between Walt and Ed. Might have some hazards going here. Something cool that most people might not know about him, he's been on The Tonight Show. It's kind of cool. An embarrassing thing that happened to him was that he fell off the front of the stage while he was performing because he wasn't paying attention. You probably only have to make that mistake once, right?
It's happened a few times.
Oh, never mind, I stand corrected. When I asked him about the animal that scares him most, he said Democrats. And so I thought that was the perfect one to end on. And welcome, and Tracy.
Yeah, so, for those of you that don't know me, I'm the CEO for the Washington Chamber, and we had our breakfast the other morning, and I said to everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. For you Biden supporters, you don't get a holiday. So there you go.
How do you take that?
Great. I'm also from New York, so I don't care. I'm going to sing a few songs for you.
So what did you do on the Tonight Show?
So in my most midlife crisis, guys buy Corvettes and stuff, right? I did stand-up comedy. I used to open for Sinbad for 10 years. And he goes, hey, you want to do the Tonight Show? And I thought, yeah, sure. What, we're going to get front row seats? He goes, no, you're going to open. I was like, what? So I did the show with Colby Calais, Terry Bradshaw, and a guy that did music on Christmas, on turkey basters, and he got more laughs than I did. Not okay. Happy holiday, happy holiday, while the merry bells keep ringing, happy holiday to you. Little song I wrote. It's the holiday season and Santa Claus is coming around. The Christmas snow is white on the ground. When old Santa gets into town, he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll be coming down the chimney down. It's the holiday season, and Santa Claus has got a toy for every good girl and good little boy. Santa's a great big bundle of joy when he's coming down the chimney down. When he's coming down the chimney down, he'll have a great big pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on the Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so whoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up the sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock, he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll have a big fat pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on the Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so whoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up your sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock, he'll be coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney down. Happy holiday, happy holiday, while the merry bells keep ringing,
Happy holiday to you. Hey, thanks. So I do love to sing. I have a band. Don't hold it against me. I'm not shallow. It's called the Ed Tracy Band. And for a long time I sang in a Journey tribute band. So I do a lot of rock and roll, but I love this kind of music. Love the old crooners, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett. In fact, we just did a Tony Bennett tribute probably 2 months ago over at the Tabernacle. Speaking of Tabernacle, if you've not seen my Christmas concert, it's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. It's free for Republicans. We're going to get our money back from the Democrats one way or the other. 7 o'clock, and it's all the Christmas crooner songs you could think of. And I don't know if you know who Tammy Creamer is. A good friend of mine. She's been playing piano for me for 35 years. And she accompanies me, and it's a lot of fun. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carol being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna smile to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. You know what I want for Christmas? A date. I'm single. Are you single? Okay. Oh, sorry. Is that your father? I'm just saying. And so I'm offering this simple phrase. Kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Did you know that song was written by Mel Torme? And do you remember what they called Mel Torme? The Velvet Fog, buddy. I heard that was your nickname in high school. Come on, pal. I did try and get Senator Ipsen and Representative Brooks to sing Baby It's Cold Outside, but didn't work out.
Worked out well for you.
Yes, it did, buddy. Andy Williams. It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's a happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. No dancing, sorry.
Marshmallows for toasting and caroling out in the snow.
There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time, yes, the most wonderful time, oh, the most wonderful time of the year. You know the best part about Christmas is I get out of work early to do this. That's really. So I was trying to think of like the funniest thing I could tell about Christmas, because you know when you have kids, there's always something, right? Always. So I have 2 ex-wives. Merry Christmas to me. And one of them decided when my kids were younger. So my oldest is now 35. He's a dentist, married. But when he was 8. My wife decided that it was time to tell them that there was no Santa Claus. And that's not okay. It gets better. So I used to play Santa Claus at the mall in Sacramento. I have a picture of my son. Now, you recognize me? I don't think you've ever sat on my lap, but we can talk about it. Are you single? Fabulous. We'll talk. Merry Christmas. So, you know, I played Santa Claus. I have a picture of my oldest on my lap, screaming high heavens because he has no idea it's me. Best photo ever. So she tells the kids there's no Christmas. The look on their faces was horrific. And I am like, I'm going to get her back. So I asked my buddies, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you come into the house at like 3 a.m. dressed as Santa Claus? And I can get the kids out of bed. He goes, I'll do you one better. Him and my buddy Jeff drove up to Tahoe, 45 minutes, hour away, got a pickup full of snow, covered the front of the house, put Rolos and chocolate kisses for reindeer poop. Jeff dressed up in the Santa outfit, came in the house. I got the kids up as he's putting stuff under the tree. We were behind the sofa. And my wife comes out, now my ex-wife. And my kids are like, see, Mom, you're always wrong. There is a Santa. 35 years old. Ashton, is there a Santa? Damn right, Dad. Yes. Good stuff. Best story ever. All right, where was I? 2 more songs. Hold on. There we go. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, all troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star among the highest and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. And have yourself a merry little Christmas So, well, you know how you are with Christmas stories. I am this way with Christmas songs. And if I get through this one, I'll be happy. But we can't forget the reason for the season. We have a great time. Holidays are wonderful, but we're here, and that's for one reason. That's to celebrate the birth of our Savior. So I'm going to leave this song with you. It's one of my favorites, Oh Holy Night. And then if you can make it tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, especially all you single Republican women. You're in Vegas. I thought I recognized you. You're one of my favorite dancers. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's blood. Long live the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. The thrill of the weary soul rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Chain shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord, and ever praise we. Noel, Noel, oh, night when Christ was born. Noel, Noel, oh, night divine, Noel, Noel, oh, night divine. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Walt, for sharing. Whether you're born and raised here like me and you, or you just moved here, we all love Dixie. But I see a hand up.
And where's the concert tomorrow?
Where's your concert?
St. George Tabernacle, 7 p.m.
Tabernacle. So, yes, and Ed, he usually does paid gigs, and he's donating his time to us. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I just want to thank all of you for your support. It's been a really great year. We've had so many good informative luncheons, and we appreciate your support. Like Marion mentioned, bring a friend next time. We're continuing to grow, and next year is going to be jam-packed. A lot of elections going on. We'll meet a lot of candidates. But enjoy this season with your families, and then we'll get back to work. And thank you again to the Riddles for your service, and we'll be getting donations, and we have a special gift for you too. One of the ladies was ill today that's bringing it, so I'll get it to you. But thank you. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, we'll see you in January. January 4th is our next luncheon.
Oh, yeah.